Jihadists and ISIS flags on the streets of London. Just another normal day, eh? Well, this is what Samara Gill, who's a very brave presenter, found when she went to central London. She's from Talk TV, to speak to protesters and anti-Israel, Islamist, anti-goodness, quite frankly, rally. Have a watch of what she found.
The jihad flag. Two very different things.
Well, you wouldn't believe what they told me.
It's a very interesting flag. What does it mean?
Declaration of faith. Basically, it means there's no God but Allah, and his prophet is Muhammad. That's it.
It looks a lot like the jihad flag to me.
Nah. It's just a declaration of faith. That's it.
It's the Saudi flag, but it's just black.
No, that's not the Saudi flag. The Saudi flag has a sword underneath and is green. That's the same flag carried by terrorists who murdered British soldiers, and it's being waved proudly through the centre of our once great capital.
We want Palestine to be free.
Free from what?
Free from Israel.
The troops have come out just a couple days ago, so it is effectively free now, would you?
Yeah, it is, but obviously the original whole land, even where Israel is now, that was all Palestine's land anyways. So you want the land back.
Right, okay, so where are those Jews going to go?
Where they came from.
Ooh, that's awkward. Because we come from there. And if Arabs go back to where they come from, well, they come from the Arabian Peninsula. Awkward.
It's the real message. That is what is at the heart of these marches.
They went to Palestine, they were somewhere else before.
Where
I'm not
were
too educated
they?
on the history. I'm not too educated on the history.
Clearly.
I'll be honest, but obviously, speak to someone older that knows the history. I'm not too educated on it. But all I know is Palestinians are getting killed right now. And yeah, so...
No, Jews are getting killed, and Palestinians or Arabs are unfortunately getting killed because their society and their leaders have chosen to wage war against the Jews for a long time.
So you're happy for the Jews to be removed from Israel?
I'm very happy for that to happen.
Okay, and how would you want that to happen?
God knows, innit?
So he doesn't even know what he's saying. He's just parroting hate like a lot of these lefty losers who go to these marches.
One state Palestine. What does that mean?
Oh, sorry.
You don't want to hold that? The one state of Palestine, what you think about that?
It's free Palestine.
Free Palestine from what?
Sorry, my English is not really well.
Okay, maybe you shouldn't be holding that sign then. So interestingly, a lot of people here don't quite know why they're here.
Crazy, clueless, and stupid. And while the jihad flag flutters freely, the Union flag and the St. George's Cross are vilified.
So you're on the front line made to look like a complete and utter idiot. Right. Yeah, because if you're here, the whole of the Isle of Don has paid for these flags to be hung, for you to authorise them to be taken down. And then you're out here on the front line.
I'm not going to argue.
You can't argue, mate. You've tried to steal them, officer. The rest of our flags that we have bought with our own working money, he has thrown in the bin.
Oh, you can wave the flag of ISIS, no problem. But the moment you wave the English flag, you're provoking tension. You are a racist. What a sick inversion of values.
How do you feel about the Union Jack?
They absolutely despise this country.
Now, you should know that this is the most bizarre of problems. Oh, sorry, we don't mean to have Steve Witkoff still on the screen there. That was a different video. There's a whole range of problems that this really signifies in this video. The first thing is that there seems to be a total refusal in the West to acknowledge harsh realities and harsh truths. So, for example, he said, well, the flag, it's not really about Islamic State or anything extreme. It's just jihad and it just means something else. You should know that the British police, a few years ago, when there were calls for jihad on Britain streets, they said, well, jihad can mean a personal, spiritual growth or whatever. Utterly deluded, totally denying reality on the ground. And it's the same thing with the Palestinian marches. Suella Braverman, the former Home Secretary, called them hate marches. They are hate marches, calling from the river to the sea. People try to say, well, it's just a few people, but come on, the majority of them, they just concern for the well-being of Israel. No, it's the majority. From the river to the sea is what's on the plaques of what they're waving. It's the majority rallying call. It's frankly all of them. The vast majority of them. Because where are they now when Hamas are executing Palestinians? Where are they, there's such a clear case to show that what they're actually interested in is not the Palestinians, but on hating on Jews and Israel. You can show so many logical flaws. The fact that they talk about Israelis and boycotting Israel, why, if they're, presumably you'd have the same hatred towards all Russians because of what Putin does. I'm not comparing what Putin does to Netanyahu does, but according to that logic, for argument's sake. So it's obviously so ridiculous, but there's just this problem in society, in British society, to deny reality as it is. You should know that, by the way, there was a video that went viral in Britain yesterday. Why? Because there was a Jewish man who was at a pro-Palestinian march, already anti-Israel march. That's all it's about, ultimately. And he was questioned by the police because this person went up to the anti-Israel mob and was close to them. And there's a video that's come out of the police questioning this guy, having detained him and arrested him, asking about why he wears a Star of David on his necklace, as if that, on his necklace, as if that's some kind of a problem. And they came under a lot of attack. They came under a widespread attack from the Jewish community and people of good sense. And look at their response. It reminds me of their jihad response. They said, "We understand the concerns raised, but the claim this man was arrested for wearing a Star of David necklace is not true." No one's saying that. We're just saying that you were talking about that in the interview. He was arrested for allegedly repeatedly breaching Public Order Act conditions that were in place to keep opposing protest groups apart. The conditions required protesters from the pro-Israel group Stop the Hate to remain in one area with protesters with the pro-Palestinian group. Blah, blah, blah. The man told officers he was acting as an independent legal observer. Blah, blah, blah. Over the course of an hour, he continuously approached the area. Ooh, how terrible. Getting very close to protesters to film them and provoking a reaction. Sorry, talking to people on your streets, you want to understand why they're there when you feel threatened by them. Why shouldn't they be able to do that? Officers had to intervene at least 4 times to ask the man to return to the Stop the Hate area as required by the conditions. When he failed to do so, he was arrested. Then he was released on bail as the investigation continues. The clip footage released in which officers question the man's status and actions as an independent legal observer is 6 minutes of an hour-long interview. We appreciate why this clip in isolation causes concern. We're continuing to review and work with communities to understand the concerns they have voiced. This is ridiculous. As David Wilson posted, he's a commercial barrister. He's a member of the House of Lords. He said, "You can refer to them as much wider context as you like, but you have not responded to the point repeatedly put by the officer in the interview that wearing the Star of David was a provocation. Why have you not responded to that central issue? Perhaps the Met Police might publish a map of London showing those areas where someone can wear a Star of David necklace or a kippah without facing arrest. And in due course, a wall might be erected around those areas for their own safety." Look, have a look at the clip.
Star of David. I think he set out his position in his statement that he was there as a legal observer. I think that's the concern.
That is what saying.
Yes.
But I've obviously got to investigate an allegation, and that these are the questions that I'm putting to him to either prove your involvement or non-involvement in the allegation. Okay? What necklace are you wearing?
What necklace am I wearing?
Yeah.
Star of David.
Because the officer details this in their statement.
What, that I've got a Star of David?
Yeah.
So?
They felt that the actions that I've just mentioned about going up close proximity to the pro-Palestinian protesters.
Can I speak to my lawyer for a second?
Of course you can.
Able to... Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned about this question about the Star of David.
Why are you concerned?
Well, I think I'll have a private consultation and we'll set out my concerns.
Okay. The time is 02:09 and I'm pausing the interview. My line of questioning, first and foremost.
Unbelievable. It's just unbelievable. And it's the fact that someone is being questioned for wearing a Star of David and going up to a hateful group. Imagine let's just replace the word anti-Israel with neo-Nazi because it's effectively the same thing. Imagine doing that. It's horrendous. To be told, well, you're being provocative in wearing that Star of David. What has things come to in Britain? And this is my point. You then see, on the other hand, people wearing English flags, and that's somehow seen as provocative. Unless Britain and all people across the world want to fight radical Islamism, unless you can be equally tough and strong and staunch in your position, you're going to get destroyed. The way to fight radical is by being equally radical. Your cause doesn't need to be radical, but your uncompromising nature and your pride and your commitment has to be strong. It has to be rooted in something equally deep and profound, like faith, in the same way that they're rooted in a twisted perception of what faith should dictate. So this is really, really important stuff. And it's concerning to see, and Britain and the Western world in general needs to get a grip. I don't expect it's going to come from the top down. It has to come from the bottom up. Before we finish, I just want to share with you something really important. We are told that Israel's actions are the cause of the Israeli-Arab conflict, but we've just released a groundbreaking documentary proving that Arab Islamic Jew hatred far predates Israel's re-establishment. This is a critical fact that everyone needs to learn about. Have a watch of our trailer for our new JTV Plus documentary entitled Arab Anti-Semitism Before Israel's Re-Establishment. Picture yourself, it's 1834 and you're a Jew living in Sfat, which is a northern city in Israel, then under the Ottoman Empire. Your family is part of this ancient city's spiritual heart for generations. You study Torah, you trade in the market, and live quietly among your Arab neighbours. But one day, a mob storms your street, shouting, "Kill the Jews!" Your home is looted, your synagogue burned, your loved ones beaten. This isn't about Israel. Israel won't exist for 114 years. This isn't about settlements, the IDF, or the 1948 displacements. This is raw, violent hatred aimed at you for being a Jew. And it's not just in Palestine, it's part of a centuries-old story of anti-Semitism woven into Arab and Islamic history, from the dawn of Islam to the streets of Hebron. The claim that this conflict began with Israel's creation, the Nakba, or modern policies, is a farce, a distortion that collapses under history's magnifying glass. Welcome to JTV Plus. I'm Ollie Annisfeld, and today we're uncovering a history too often buried, the relentless anti-Semitism among Arabs in Palestine before 1948, rooted in a broader Arab and Muslim hostility that began with Islam's inception in the 7th century. To watch this JTV Plus documentary and access much more premium content, click on the link in the video description.